Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is March, and not just regular March. It is March 8th, and guess what? It's Women's Day, so that's why I'm hosting. I'm the main host because it is International Women's Day. All you males persuasions of the male persuasion, maybe of they them. Well, the they them can also share with us. Okay, never mind. It's okay. You can also share. But whatever in the case is, I take over, and now I demand that you all tell me how your day's been or how your week has been. Let's go ahead and start off with Javion. How have you been?
Hi, I've been pretty good. As you can see, I'm in a new place at the moment. I'm just house sitting for a friend. I've been pretty busy watching movies. Just saw Dune 2 last weekend. It was pretty exciting. After a very fun day with Peter, where we were playing Magic the Gathering for, oh gosh, it must have been like 6 hours. That was a learning process. I learned a lot from that. I'm, I also learned how rusty I am at Magic the Gathering. There's a lot of keywords that I needed to like brush up on. Thanks for that, Peter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a perfect segue to Peter. Like, yeah, well, tell me more about the you and Javion having the duels all
Well,
day.
I mean, Jamie was being very kind and very modest here. I there was a point where he had won every game, like the first three games he won, and I was like, I'm getting schooled by Javion in Magic. He almost said so, but then I came back and won the next three, and then he tie broke it and won the whole match. So, well done, Javion. And
Couldn't
and
have done it without you.
Yeah, and we didn't go to Dune 2 together, but we did both go to Dune 2 right after playing Magic. Just that's so funny. I also really thoroughly enjoyed it. And by the way, we did the Magic stream to support the Gary Atkinson Memorial Magic the Gathering tournament that will be at GaryCon, where I will also be gunslinging. So if anybody out there is going to go to GaryCon, sign up for the Magic tournament. It's in honor of the other Gary, my dad. Hey, by the way, Bonsai, we just got
Yes.
a fresh headline, a fresh press release from Gen Con. Can I squeeze this in here?
Ooh. Yeah, go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead. Fresh off the press.
great, fresh on the press. So Gen Con just released the cover art for this year's program book. It is by Elaine Ho, an Asian American illustrator and art director. She's illustrated the program book cover, and when asked about her inspiration for the piece, she responded, "Since it's the year of the dragon, dragons had to be the main subject. It was a blessing to have Genevieve as Gen Con's mascot." I love her, by the way. "And I wanted to paint an Eastern dragon living with her, showing both kinds can coexist in the world. And we are represented by the dragon tamer at the bottom, symbolizing the underlying humanity that ties us all together."
Ooh. Okay, so like we're gonna get this in posters and t-shirts, right? Because the art is beautiful.
I,
And yes,
I want to get it on my mug. I wonder if I can get it beside Genevieve here.
oh, it'd be cool if you had both of the dragons wrapping around the mug. Oh, I
Yeah,
like those ideas.
yeah.
All the Yeah. No, but that is really, really cool. And that's amazing that's like really what, like 30, like 10 minutes ago or something like that. They
Yeah,
just released that.
literally while we were preparing for Joe. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, I think sometimes like if you just check your email, you could also see a big of if you are subscribed to Gen Con email address, you can also see it should be in your email addresses right now. And you know what? I feel like fighting chat. Don't you feel like that, Noir? Oh, you muted.
No, I wasn't saying anything of value. No, no, I was just like, great. I gotta follow up those cool looking dragons. No, my week has been pretty chill. We were gonna go see Dune 2 yesterday, but decided against it. We're gonna see it on Saturday though, so I'm very excited. Other than that, I've just been playing a whole lot of Hell Dive 2. So that's
Hmm.
me, spread democracy.
Perfect timing. All I feel like that game is such like a storm of just things coming at you, and
Yeah.
shooting nonstop.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I just like it because there's friendly fire and me and my friends we're petty, I think is the word that we're gonna go for. So if somebody
funny.
if somebody's mortar accidentally explodes near somebody, they hold that vendetta for the entire game.
Wow.
Oh,
How about you, Bonsai? How was your week?
oh, me, it was actually pretty nice. I've been gearing up and planning because March is planting season. I have the death touch, so I am trying to not have the death touch. That is, gardening. I hear that if you like potatoes are really hard to kill, so I'm gonna try potatoes as my kind of intro into gardening. It's just little steps because groceries be expensive and sometimes maybe you should start doing homesteading because you never know with the way things are, but also it's a good skill to learn. It's a good skill to learn just to have growing. I do have some very sad news for folks though. That is just like a random update. It is the Year of the Dragon, and unfortunately, the original creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, passed away basically a few like 1st of March at the young age of 68. He was there, the new series was just about to be launched again, so his work is unfinished, and that is sad. But the dragon calls sometimes. And that's what happened. So it's a lot of Dragon Ball Z, of course, or Dragon Ball was my intro into anime, along with Yu Yu Hakusho and a lot of those. So a lot of folks in the anime community is feeling very, very sad,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
To this day, I still try to go Super Saiyan when nobody's looking.
I mean, it does. Screaming does actually kind of help sometimes when you just want to blast off, like into space. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That leads us into our first feature, which is brought to us by Carly Velaki at Polygon. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, has released a free original tabletop role-playing game. And it is one part educational experience and another part sci-fi fantasy epic with magic and dragons. Now you might like, hey, sci-fi with dragons. Hey, old school science fiction didn't blur the lines between, I mean, it was magic and science is all rolled together. So I kind of like that aspect of this, by the way. So the crux of the Lost Universe, the organization's first TTRPG, or Tater Pig, as we commonly say here on Gen Con TV, involves a mystery. What would happen if the Hubble Space Telescope disappeared? It's a simple premise and one that hides a complex backstory underscoring the events of the role-playing game. The game takes place on a planet called Exlaris, where a scholar named Eirik Hazen created a magic spell. By the way, I think that's an anagram for something having to do with the Hubble. Maybe. Figure it out. He creates a magic spell to connect with Earth to study the Hubble Space Telescope. However, the spell and the telescope are stolen by a dragon, and naturally, the players must retrieve it. The official 44-page gameplay book is available to download for free on NASA's website, and the adventure is designed for 4 to 7 players. Don't let the fantasy elements distract you from the educational aspects of the game, which is all about the Hubble Space Telescope and its importance to Earth's history. Also, much of the text involves explaining scientific concepts like gravitational lensing, the idea that a large enough grouping of matter can distort light as it travels toward the observer. Love it. The Lost Universe was made in conjunction with the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, and its credits are filled with NASA employees from various departments. The lead adventure designer is Christina Mitchell, a video producer.
Very, very cool. I think I remember looking some of this up, and it's a system agnostic, I believe, so you can
Yes.
kind of import it into anywhere. So that's really, really cool. It's trying to take like, hey, I know you guys really like one fantasy RPG mixing it with sci-fi, we like it. We like it. But it's not. Yeah.
I was this close to running it on Monday with the Marvel Multiverse TTRPG, but
Whoa.
we changed our mind last second just because we wanted to, it had just come out Monday, so we wanted to give it a little bit more time to get hyped up.
Yeah. It looks fun. I would want to prepare for running this. It has all that heavy science in there, which is You kind of want to make sure you understood all that stuff before jumping in.
Then I guess if it has a lot of the science, would it also have a lot of the math, and would it be then an OSR? Because it's got
Yeah, yeah, you should run this with AD&D. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody needs to do that and stream it.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I feel like, yeah, like space, it's vast, it's interesting, and kind of spooky sometimes, right, Nora?
Yeah, it can be a little scary. Oh, I see what you did there. See, what that was this rolling into our next headline, which is that Arkham Horror the Arkham Horror TTRPG. So first off, thank you, Chase Carter of Dicebreaker. Arkham Horror RPG will introduce new investigators to a world of Miskatonic mysteries this summer. I gotta let you guys know. I thought I was gonna mess that word up, but I nailed it.
You did great.
Load your guns and grab your occult literature because there's a new way to combat the cosmic terrors of the Arkham Horror Files universe. Arkham Horror, the role-playing game, will trade the living card game mechanics for more traditional collaborative storytelling, with the starter set launching in August. Many of you are probably yelling, wait, but there's already Call of Cthulhu at your screens. And while, yes, Chaosium's RPG of 1920 Gumshoes and Cosmic Horror is already a massively popular hit, publisher Edge Studios and Asmodee seem keen to leveraging their version of the haunted Northeast U.S. coastline to players more familiar with character sheets than decks of cards. And if it can show up here, I've got my Arkham. No, it's still blurred. Curses. But I've got my Arkham Horror card set here. It's a fantastic game. Highly recommend it. But now they're making a TTRPG. They also, as Peter reminded me earlier, have a tabletop board game, Eldritch Horror, which is the sequel to their Arkham Horror. And I'm excited for more eldritch nonsense. Especially I think Chaosium could use the competition. So let's get more spooky spooky Cthulhu stuff out there. It's coming out in August. How do you guys feel about this? Are you looking forward to more Cthulhu, or you feel
Always.
like we've already got enough?
I like Eldritch Horror. It's always good thing. I think I actually have the board game that he was talking about in the back, and I was gonna run, but then I realized I was like, I don't have time to run over and grab it. But yeah, no, I will say that the board game, if it's gonna be played as a tape, my only question is that is this just gonna be a slow grind fest of despair as evil eventually triumphs in all ways, and your mind becomes corrupted and you don't even know what is right and wrong anymore? Is that what the tabletop RPG is gonna be like?
Well, according to this article, Arkham Horror TRPG is keeping an eye on RPG newcomers who have no prior experience with any of the previous Arkham Horror Files game, or the Cosmic Horror genre, or even TTRPGs. The starter box is going to contain everything a group was going to need to immediately dive in, including an adventure, The Hungering Abyss. The cover art shows the party is spooked and cautious degular people foregrounded against graveyard and cultists with both horns and tentacles. So it sounds like you can adjust the experience to the level that your players are looking. So if they want to kick down the door and beat up some cultists, you can do that. Or if they just want to open the wrong door and have their mind shattered by the appearance of an eldritch being, that is an option too. So I think your mileage may vary.
So, Bonsai, I think my advice for you, if you don't want to see your character descend into total madness, sign up for a Arkham campaign, but only show up for the first session.
There you go. Oh, what about Javion? Wow, your opinion. I know this isn't really your type of game. I mean, does this sound appetizing at all to
No,
you?
No!
Okay.
What are you talking about, Monza? Have I not said it enough? I get scared
change your mind.
so easy. I guess I'm a little curious to see how it's going to be different than Call of Cthulhu, because while I haven't played it myself, so many of my players have asked me if they could run it for me just to prove to me that it's not as scary as I think it's going to be, but I can't see how. I've heard so many things about so many existential threats to sanity, and I don't even want to get into it.
No, I totally understand. I mean, it's that's why you just offer. You're like, hey, does this look cool now? And then you go, no. And then when you go, okay, I respect that. But I guess you know what I need? This is a missed opportunity that they're having is that like, hey, maybe if you're gonna promote the Tater Pig for Arkham Horror, maybe you can work with the Seattle Krakens, you know, maybe make a module based off of the going to the hockey game.
Boo.
Come on! Yeah. I still want to get a group of friends together to be in robes and just like wiggle their arms when the game goes, you know, just look like a cult. But you know, it's always fun to just kind of get together and, you know, become altered in some way through a ceremony of some sort. What do you think, Javion?
I think I would like my soapbox. Anita?
Oh my god, we get it. You think trains are cool. So overrated.
Folks, friends, board gamers, card gamers, why do we collect things? Is it for some sense of achievement, having collected or hunted them all down? Is it for the satisfaction of a complete collection of things? Is it superiority? Maybe you're looking to brag to your friends about how hard you worked to get the things you covet. From dragons to chipmunks, we all have things that we covet, that we hoard. Specifically, as gamers, sometimes we look for things like dice or maybe stickers, water bottles for some reason, popcorn buckets. I don't know. All I know is we love to get lots of things together. And for some of us, we have missed out. We have missed out on opportunities where we can collect games or collect cards. Perhaps money got in the way. Perhaps they're all too out of print or the special limited editions. We just weren't at the Disney Expo in order to get them or whatever, right? What I have for you is an opportunity for you to sort of get that feeling back. This Kickstarter is altered. And before I go any further, I just want to say thank you really quickly to Charlie Hall of Polygon for this article. We haven't spoken on TableTakes yet about this TCG, but perhaps we should have. This Kickstarter ended already as the most successful, the highest funded TCG on Kickstarter in history. And for good reason. There are a lot of reasons, in fact. In Altered, you're playing not to destroy your opponent or deplete their hit points. You're trying to explore, which sounds interesting and funny when you think about how it's a TCG, like it's a card game, and you do have an opponent, but you're racing each other. You're racing to find your companion before your opponent finds theirs. And there's all different spells and magic, modern versus fantasy mashup settings that come together to make this happen. I encourage you to check the link out in chat if you want to take a look more. But that's not all that's interesting about this game. It's strange, and brand new mechanics aren't the only interesting part. In fact, I would say the most interesting part about it is that its digital format mixed with its physical format make this a very unique style, something that we are all going to have to take a closer look at as it develops in the future. No longer will you be forced to pay oodles and buckets of money to try to get booster packs that may contain the card you want. Instead, When you buy a booster pack, you have small QR codes on each card, something you might have recognized from things like Keyforge. But when you scan that QR code and it puts the ownership of that card on your account in the Altered app, you have ownership of that card. Not only do you have access to that card, specifically the QR code that's on it, but you can also order extra copies of that card for a fee on the app. There's also a global marketplace in place for you to buy the rights to other cards from other people. Sounding familiar yet? It's not NFTs. You are only buying the rights to buy more copies of a card. The cool part is that other people can join in with you and you can order full sets together. Perhaps you're going to your local game store and you want to order a bunch of cards or a bunch of starter sets or full sets together. You can pool your resources and do that. Another interesting thing is the foil aspect. You know how sometimes you get these booster packs and some of them are holographic or foil or polychrome? Well, in Altered, you don't get foil cards. Instead, you get foilers. Foilers are foil treatments for cards, meaning you take the foil treatment off, you put it on a card, not only physically, but also digitally, meaning you can order foil copies of that card because you foiled it, also increasing the value of the card. So this is a really interesting system. It's created by Bonacy, which is the co-founder of the studio that brought us Dixit and Mysterium. Hopefully you can see some of the influences in the art and in the style of the setting. I'm curious what you guys think. This looks really, really impactful. It's got a lot of huge competitors out there with Magic the Gathering and Lorcana taking center stage, but we might have another contender on our hands.
It does sound interesting, but at the same time, I wonder how you control the quality of things. Like, because if you're supposed to make your own foils and print your own cards and stuff, I don't know. It just sounds like a lot of things to kind of keep track of on
I
who
think
has.
what I like about
Yeah.
it is that you can build your collection really cheaply because the fact that you're not trolling through booster packs or going to your game store to like hope that they have the card you want, you can just buy the rights to it and then order that card. There are 15,000 backers, but over $7 million behind it. If that tells you anything, people are really invested in this.
All
Well,
right.
I think it'd be interesting to see, so many trading card games have come and gone since Magic, and so many of them did not make it. And I think it should be, it feels like it'd be a healthier category. I mean, of course, there's Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, but those are in different categories. Now there's Lorcana, which is kind of, which is off to a great start. We'll see if it sticks, but I would love to see more than just Magic. But I have to challenge you on your comment about how it's not an NFT. I mean, in a sense, okay, maybe it's not an NFT. Okay, maybe it's not an NFT, but the concern about NFTs is blockchain technology. Does it use blockchain technology to
Not
track?
at all. As
Nope.
far as I'm aware, there are no concerns about blockchain or anything like that, or at least
Okay.
nothing in my research points to that. As far as I can tell, they are working really closely with Asmodee to get these cards printed out on demand for folks ordering them through the Altered app. You can also play it digitally. You can play the free 6 starter decks by either downloading them and then printing them and then cutting them up and putting them in some penny sleeves, or you could try to play on BGA. Right now, it's up there for free if you want to play that, or any of the 3 fan-made tabletop simulator apps, or you can go to their website and use their digital system for playing the game. So there's a lot of ways for playing it for free as well.
I gotta keep it a whole buck with you. I didn't realize how much of a TCG purist I was until you reported on this. Like everything about this upsets me. Oh, no, you don't get to choose what's foiled. You go out there and you hope.
You want people to gamble. That's
You know how much money I wasted in high school on Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Magic cards. You know how many times I bought boosters and got trashed. You don't
Thank you, by the
change things. You're welcome. And how could you do that to me, Pete?
I didn't know you. I didn't know you, Noir, at the time.
No, I'm like this upsets me. I don't like it. I don't. It reminds me of the first time. It reminds me of the first time I played Magic with somebody and they had proxies. I've never been so irrationally upset.
I'd
Like,
flip the table and walk away. Just
I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
you'll have an opportunity to tell them to their faces at Gen Con this year. Apparently, they were at Gen Con last year showing off some demos, and I'm sure they're going to have an even bigger presence this year. We'll have to wait until August
Can't
for
wait.
their full release on August 26th.
Dang,
I-
I'm gonna get carried
I
out
have
by
to-
security.
I have to admit, I'm very, very interested in this little ability to touch up the art or add a border or foil and then get an official printing. I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
I'm
I admit.
scared. What if you like put the foil on and like you mess it up? It's like putting like the phone screen
It's-
That's a
It
little-
sounds
protector
like
on.
blasphemy is what it is.
Like
Well,
fun.
yeah, it's a craft project plus card trade or trading card game all at once, which is cool, and I like that. We'll
That's
just
pretty
have to
cool.
wait and see how they do. Maybe it'll get its hands on the crafting community as well, and then it just blows up from there. Because you never know. But you want to know something that I do know. Guess what? I hope you were saving money to just lose it because 4 is now live. This is the 4th edition of the Digital Tabletop Fest, which highlights. Oh, let me go ahead and press enter in here so I can put the link in. This is like Steam holds and offers huge discounts and highlights a wide range of digital board games and that either mimic tabletop play or are inspired by tabletop games. This event runs through Thursday. Runs from Thursday to this coming Monday. So you can pick up some awesome digital titles for a great discount. So things that I know that are about 50% off. Wingspan and a lot of its expansions, Fury of Dracula, Terraforming Mars, and Game of Thrones, the board game. You can get all those for 50% off. The event also has a lot of sorts of games inspired by tabletop games that offer discounts. Like, for example, you can get Slay the Spire that for 66% off. Or a whole mess of Warhammer games at a discount as well. Also, a lot of chess games are on there. And if you just like a lot of deck builders as well, they have a lot of games up for people to grab. So if you're like, oh, I like Steam, let me go ahead and throw more money into there. That's what you can do. But yeah, it's just a little blip, of things. So go ahead and get those discounts while you can, or before fantasy meets reality somehow and does a crossover, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely. Fantasy meets reality. It does. So this feature is brought to us from game designer and writer Mike Carr. Now, it's worth mentioning, not only is Mike Carr in chat right now. Hi, Mark. In fact, I just asked him how to pronounce Quasqueton, which is how I've been pronouncing it for the last 40 years. It is worth mentioning Mike Carr is a stalwart of our industry. With credits that predate role-playing, like Don't Give Up the Ship, which he's run for me before. It's had so much fun. Mike joined Gary and Dave early on, serving as the editor for the AD&D Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual. But most importantly, to us here at Gen Con TV, Mike Carr is the only person in the entire universe who's attended every Gen Con. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, enough intro. Okay, let me read you some excerpts from Mike's report from the front lines. When fantasy meets reality, it can be a fun moment for everyone, as local residents and Dungeons & Dragons players experienced on Saturday, November 18 in Quasqueton. Has Mike told me the pronunciation yet? Nope, I'm just going to say Quasqueton, Iowa. The occasion was a visit by Mark Carr and Harold Johnson, former employees of, it is. It can be pronounced two ways, I've been told. Quasqueton. Oh, you were right. Or Quasqueton.
Nice.
Queton. Both are okay. Okay, Quasqueton. I'm going to go with that one. Quasqueton, or maybe Quasqueton. Okay, Quasqueton. I'm going to do that. Okay, so the occasion was a visit by Mark Carr Mike Carr and Harold Johnson, former employees of original D&D publisher TSR Inc., and Tim Wadzinski represent Goodman Games. The threesome gave a presentation at the local historical museum for that area to tell the story of Quasqueton's place in Dungeons & Dragons lore and to pass out bright yellow bumper stickers heralding the quirky connection. Longtime players of the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game fondly recall, like I do, the place name for Quasqueton as the fictional setting of the B1 adventure module In Search of the Unknown, published by TSR in 1978. Written by designer Mike Carr, B1 was created as an explanatory how-to introduction to D&D for fledgling dungeon masters and first-time players. For many of them, exploring the caverns of Quasqueton, the abandoned stronghold of legendary warrior Rogan the Fearless and his friend wizard Zelagar the Unknown was their initial D&D experience. Prior to creating that work, Carr had lived in nearby Cedar Rapids and, knowing of the town, chose its distinctive name for his fictional setting. Before the internet, few individuals outside of Eastern Iowa had heard of it, but after the advent of online search engines, the actual name of the game, the source of the name, was revealed to the curious. And now, the new sticker that proclaims Quasqueton, former home of Rogan and Zelagar, has created a fresh buzz among the D&D cognoscenti and Iowa residents alike. In 2018, Goodman Games published Into the Borderlands, a hardbound volume that reprinted the first two B series modules released by TSR, B1 and B2, which was Keep on the Borderlands, which I also played, by Gary Gygax, presenting them as originally released for basic Dungeons & Dragons and in updated versions for the current 5th edition of the D&D game. Earlier this year, Tim Wadzinski of Goodman Games visited the Quasqueton Area Historical Museum, where he showed the B1 module and told the story of Quasqueton's place in D&D history to museum president Corinne Love, who was happily surprised by the revelation. After Wadzinski's successful visit to Quasky, as it is affectionately called by local residents, author Mike Carr thought of creating the stickers, which he printed at his expense, for the Quasqueton Museum and Goodman Games to give to gamers and others. Quote, I thought it would be fun to create a whimsical item that would promote the legend that ties the two fictional characters to this world, yet this mystical, yet real place, Carr says. The stickers will be a curiosity to most who see it, but if they happen to discover the real Quasqueton and or the B1 module republished by Goodman Games, all the better. For the gaming crowd, Carr has provided enough stickers to put into the swag bags at GaryCon in March and the Gen Con convention in August. So there will be more than 2,000 of them distributed eventually. The November 18th event was a success, thanks largely to pre-event publicity in the online D&D community and an article in the Cedar Rapids Gazette newspaper. Television station KCRG of Cedar Rapids sent a reporter and camera crew to the museum to cover the event, which drew an assortment of local residents, museum volunteers, and D&D players from the nearby cities of Dubuque, Waterloo, and Cedar Rapids. On a personal note, I'm so excited. This was my entry to D&D. I'm the guy he's talking about in this article. I was a guy, I had a war game in my hands at a game store, and on impulse, I put it down and picked up B1 as my first ever D&D product. And I went home and tried to play it at school with my friends. And I'm sorry, Mark, as an introductory to make it easy to play, you didn't quite hit the mark. We really struggled. I'm just teasing you, Mike. I mean, basic D&D, it was a tough game. It was so foreign to anything we had, but it was so lovely. It was so amazing. So there we go. Yeah. Personal story.
What a heartwarming story. Thank you,
It
Peter.
is. We got
Yeah.
history combined with all kinds of stuff. And then also Peter's Gateway. That's what we got. Peter's Gateway.
No, I mean there's a question that I have to ask. You said Mark is the only one that's been to every Gen Con? You haven't been to every Gen Con?
Mike has. I haven't.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Me personally, I was
Yeah.
7 years old the first Gen Con. Are you talking about? I mean, it's 50 some years old.
I didn't know how old Gen Con was.
Oh my God, Noir. Yeah. Okay, it's been around. 1968, I think, was the first
Holy,
Gen Con. I
holy
was seven.
crap.
It's funny because sometimes people think that I started Gen Con, and I quickly correct them, or I'll say, "Yeah, I was 7 years old. I was an entrepreneur from a young age." Sure.
I was one of those under the mistaken impression. That's awesome.
Oh, boss baby. There you go. But no, that's a
Boss
great
baby.
no, but that's a great like intro to things and that and it's great to actually have like TSR and gaming like have historical monuments. I think that's like a bigger thing. Like, hey, now they've been gaming has been around so long that now we have historical monument areas dedicated to like where
Yeah.
something was played. That's great.
And Mike Parkcar just pointed out in chat, not only has he been to every Gen Con, he ran the very first event at the very first Gen Con after Gary Gygax welcomed the 90 attendees in the horticultural hall.
That's,
Wow.
that's
Wow.
awesome.
Mike, I salute you.
That that is the ultimate nerd crate right there. Like you can't really say anything against that.
Never catch up with that.
How OG are you? I'm so OG. I was part of no. I feel like that's actually a really, really cool thing to like put down. And thank you, Peter, for letting us know about that. I feel like now our minds are just in chaos knowing how much the ages of things nowadays, what you think? No are.
You know what? I was watching intently to see how you were going to do that, how you're gonna transfer it to this, and you know what? Good on you. That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Shout first and foremost, of course, shout out to Dice Breakers, and Chase Carter in particular for this story. What's the story? Well, the story is Chaosium, the tabletop publisher behind Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest, has offered a grand total of $10,000 in prize money to amateur designers who take part in the Basic Role-Playing Universal Game Engine Design Challenge. Open to contestants from anywhere in the world, the BRP Design Challenge tasks designers with creating new tabletop titles using Chaosium's Basic Role-Playing Engine. This D100 based system was first used to power the original 1970s RuneQuest and featured roll under mechanics, meaning players must roll under a target number or target value to pass a skill challenge or successfully land a hit during combat. Excuse me. Versions of that system now rest under the hood of several products and several popular RPGs, including Call of Cthulhu and the upcoming King Arthur Pendragon 6th edition. Contest entries will use the 2023 release of the Basic Role Playing Universal Game Engine Core Book, which was published under Paizo's Orc license, and therefore allows creators to publish anything using its rules without owing royalties. Still have to say the Orc license is just such a good name. It's just it's still
such a good
it's
name.
still undefeated. Entrants can be either digital or physical, but all must explain their interpretation of the BRP rules and explain the unique qualities of their bespoke system, narrative setting, and or tabletop game. They'll also need to submit a production budget for the project, explain how they would use the money awarded from the design challenge, and outline how and where their RPG is best marketed. Entering a project into the BRP contest does not sign over any rights to Chaosium. All contestants, whether they win or not, will retain the entire rights to their work. Chaosium says the goal of the BRP Design Challenge is to financially assist new and upcoming creators and empower designers from all walks of life with original ideas, concepts, and systems, with the goal of seeing all shortlisted entries eventually published. All shortlisted games and the eventual trio of winners will receive a trophy, award logos they can print on product materials, and can expect continued promotion on the Chaosium channels as they work toward eventual publication, according to the company. So, that's the competition. Those are the rules. Those are the rewards. What do you all think about this? I think this is a brilliant way to get more creative and wonderful products into this space. And I think Chaosium may just be starting something that other companies want to take a look into. But that's
Uh,
just me. What do y'all think?
I would say more. I say more chances and opportunities to let people independently put their work out there and not just be completely like they specify. They probably they probably are get first like hacks at like basically like, hey, if you publish it, we'll probably get like first like just first option for up to grabs to help you even more to this. But I do like that it gives more people opportunity. I hope that it goes more internationally as well, to different companies, because it is like a lot of times all you need is just that one chance to get your work out there, and then you know
I agree with both of you. This is a nice opportunity. It's a nice move from the company. I'm sure it's a good little marketing boost for them to have this added, this idea out there. And it's placing money right into the hands of game designers. And designing games is tough. It's a tough gig. There's lots of people designing games. It's hard to get them, and you might publish a game and never really get paid, but here's a way to put some money in some hands of some game designers. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, we might discover the next Steve Jackson and get more Munchkin. I'm sorry,
I'm all for it. Sounds like we could use a little bit more people like Steve Jackson. See how successful he is?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's all in the cards, and we'll just have to wait and see about who pops up in this. Maybe some new emerging designers, or just all those kind of things. We'll have to wait and see. But you know what we could do? Talk about already designers that already have their names out there, and let's just throwing it in the middle mix of it a little bit. What do you think, Javion?
We've got an article here from William Niebling of ICV2, and it's all about Middle Ages, a board game about, you guessed it, the medieval times. You'll be building your own kingdom in this game about drafting tiles, playing cards, attacking your opponents and raiding them for their resources, and just overall trying to build your fiefdom to glory. You can focus on a lot of different areas in this game, which is one of the really cool parts about it. You can go into agriculture and farming. You can take a look at the politics of palace life. You can try to get favor with the church and focus on religion or build up a huge military force. It's a game that plays 2 to 5 players and only takes about 30 minutes, which is really cool. I love seeing these Euro-style games that are kind of quick to play. And it's going to retail at $34.99, coming out in just a few months here on June 5th. It looks kind of fun. I like the idea of building kingdoms. It's not exactly a novel concept. I'm sure we've all built our own cities and towns and plenty of other games, but this game actually comes to us from Marc Andre, who you might remember from Splendor, another game that he's designed. So definitely check it out if you want to see some more info about a cool little game that might be interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you play it?
I have to demo it. I really do just have to demo it. You know. Oh, I feel like there's also definitely somebody else has an opinion about that game.
Yeah.
I think we were
One
about
of
to
the
get.
dogs. One of you dogs.
Sorry, I'm
Like,
dog sitting, and yeah, CJ here has some board gamer dads and gets really excited whenever I talk about board games.
I think he's gonna show us an example of rating. No, but honestly, this sounds like a pretty cool system. I do like the Middle Ages. I think, especially with the idea of being able to kind of create your own setting, kind of with this. I think it's pretty interesting. I do agree with Bonsai though. I would have to demo this first,
He
but I
didn't
love the
ask if you would
concept.
buy it. He asked if you would play it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
look at him! He's so
Play any game.
This is CJ.
Oh.
Hello,
I only get
CJ.
a week with him, so get it while it getting's good.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
very cute. We here in chat love when you pay the puppy tax, and all that stuff. But I feel like this is a good moment to go ahead and step away from all of these main headlines and drop
Oh.
right in to the bundles. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I hope you guys are excited for the boss bundle. It's me, because remember, it's Women's Day, so I take over the stream. International Women's Day. Hope you guys know that. Go say thank you to a woman or a female persuasion, okay, today. But also, hey, speaking of ladies, do you want to know where ladies are important? In Dune. Yes, Dune Adventures tabletop RPG. So if you guys wanted to go ahead and experience the adventures in Arachnis and beyond, I have the set for you on Humble Bundle. So for $18, you get 17 books of the whole Modifius tabletop RPG of Dune, which includes the Power and Pawn, Sand and Dust, and the Great Houses of Lansar. Totally didn't mess up that name. Don't worry about it. Anywho, also for $10, you get 8 books. That includes the Desert Fall Adventure and the Masters of Dune. And for $1, you do get a quick start guide, the starter set, characters and house sheets. Each of these tiers also give a 50% discount for buying the physical products. And also, in Dune style, this charity that they're going to be supporting is Charity Water. It's a nonprofit organization bringing clean water, clean, safe drinking water to people in developing countries. They use 100% of the public donations to directly fund sustainable water solutions in areas of greatest need. So, don't follow the spice, even though water does kill the whole planet. I know. Spoilers. I'm sorry. The book has been out for years. If you wanted to know. But yes. So get you in the Dune mood, especially because it is out. But yes. And from that, you want to know, I think we should go to court.
Welcome to Crowdfunder Court. Here come the judges. Prepare to be judged. All right, court is now in session.
Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to court. Here at court, I want to make sure that everyone has brought something awesome and great for us today. And I feel like, you know what, Peter, you're looking, or no, not Peter, sorry, Noir, you're looking quite suspicious here. Go ahead and present your crowd.
Guilty, more like.
Wow. This is how you gonna celebrate International Women's Day by profiling? No. I got you right here with Warren Guard. It is awesome, but I'm sure you're asking, what is Warren Guard? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Relax, be patient. Warren Guard is a tabletop role-playing game by Natalie Pudum, author of Sapphic Space Pirates and published by Luck of the Harbor. It utilizes a unique system that blends aspects of belonging games, such as Wander Home with the Fate Accelerated system by Evil Hat. From the mechanics up, it is a game about the fantasy of being a dragon rider and the reality of how found families form in adversity and carve out a comfort in dangerous life. Players will shape the world of floating islands and wilds full of magic and giant monsters with tiny pockets of humanity. Under the protection of Dragon Riders, choose between 5 rider archetypes that define your role on the team: Old Timer, Fresh Face, Ace, Outsider, and Caretaker. Be paired with one of 12 dragon species with unique traits and personalities. Perhaps your companion will be a fierce and deadly red dragon with fiery breath, or a regal purple dragon with wings that leave storms in their wake. Tell your story with 15 chapters that make session planning a breeze. Warren Guard features 5 rider archetypes that define your role on the team, 12 unique dragon species, a simple player-defined world-building system, 15 playable chapters that make session planning a breeze, 10 ready-made threats to put the Warren Guard in danger, a striking layout by Abby Kelly, and gorgeous art by Natalie Chenard, Shane Binion, Catalin Kawaguchi, and Anonymous Gob, and more. So, this backer kit is currently at $14,680, and their goal was 5,000. They have 275 backers and 17 days left for you to jump in on this adventure. There's tons of amazing stretch goals. There's a pretty cool actual play on the Critical Misses Twitch channel. You should check that out. And one of the prizes here are cool metal fate accelerated dice that are dragon themed. So there's absolutely no reason for you to pass this one up. This is one that you should back immediately. Tons of good people working on it, tons of good people supporting it, and you could be one too. That's my case, Judge. I'll see myself out.
Alrighty, thank you, thank you. Being that it is the year of the dragon, I will allow this. This is acceptable. Everything dragon themed gets a pass this year. Now, Javion, what do you have to bring for us?
What's better than dragons? Gambling! That's right, it's Ready, Set, Bet, the High Roller Edition. For fans of John D. Clare games like myself, you might recall that there was a game that came out just recently called Ready, Set, Bet. It's a game all about betting on race horses. You play these chips down on a big board, kind of like you're playing roulette, as somebody rolls dice and is a barker. Or you can use the digital app to have it roll the dice and call things out for you. With the High Roller Edition here on Kickstarter, which is, by their own claim, their most highly requested deluxe upgrade for AEG, you're going to get everything bigger. It's a bigger box, bigger board, bigger chips. Yes, that's right, bigger chips. You guys know how much I love a thick chip. This time, we're taking those flimsy little cardboard chips and we're turning them into thick poker chips that you can slap down and will spin around when you throw them. There's also the casino dice replacing the other dice that they give you in the base game, as well as meeples that don't keep falling over because they're much bigger now and people will be able to see them a little bit more easily. Not to mention there are also some huge neoprene mats to use so the board doesn't bend as easily or slide across the table. But my favorite part about this Kickstarter is that they finally gave all the horses names, which brings me to a little mini game I wanted to show you guys, just to give you an idea of how the game works. I'm going to list off all the horse names, and in your mind's eye, pick your horse, and we'll see if that one wins. We've got 23 Skidoo, 4 Shore, 5 O'Clock Somewhere, 6 Appeal, Lucky 7, the Ocho, 9 Lives, Perfect 10, and Late Breakfast. Those are our horses. Let's see who pulls ahead. Ooh, looks like Lucky 7's pulling up the rear. Oh, it's 5 O'Clock Somewhere with a photo finish. Did your horse win? I hope so. Check out this Kickstarter. It's got a little bit of time left if you want to hop in and grab the AEG exclusive add-ons, such as the AEG bestseller inspired horse meeples for games like Smash Up and Space Base, as well as the Red Casino AEG dice, or you can just grab the Gold Foil Magnificent 7 Horse Meeple that is exclusive for this Kickstarter. Check it out now. I believe you only have like a week left.
Ooh, thank you very much, Javion. I support chunky dice and chunky coins, and also giving horses names. Please give your horses names. They all need names. And my horse won, so of course this also gets approved. Thank you very much. Also, now I have one backer kit for you all. Do you like to ow, I hit my head. Oh, sorry. So, hey, do you like to duel? So I was flailing too much and I hit the corner and get my funny bone. But Perfect Draw is the game for you. It is a tabletop RPG or Tater Pig based off of card-like anime like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Duel Masters, Card Fight, Vanguard. Create any card you can imagine in your open-end card creation system and use them in an action-packed narrative combat. So this game is powered by the apocalypse. It's a brilliant idea because it recognizes that, you know, actual like learning the decks and the mechanics isn't really in the spirit of things, and so you're just kind of like every player kind of designs a signature deck for their character with special abilities and flavors, but the deck of the cards are largely just narrative tools, meaning you don't actually have to learn to play any special unique game. You just have it. Each of the player books come with different tropes from the card game animes, like the ally, the one who's like, Deku-kan, you can do it, and support all the things. Also, they have another example of turncoat, who is the trope of the villain who then turns and says, now I fight for the good guys because, and all that cool stuff. But yes, so if you ever wanted to channel your heart into the cards, this game is for you. Now with that, what do y'all think? Do you approve of mine?
Well done, Your Honor.
I can't believe you would attack a woman on this day.
Sorry, Noir. We already had our month.
God, you guys.
Noir's just
Well,
bitter. Please go ahead, Bonsai.
thank you with that. I think it just about wraps that up for, oh, hey, Peter, why don't you take it away? Take it away now.
All righty. Okay. Well, this concludes another star-studded episode of TableTakes with our guest Mike Char performing in chat. Mike Char? I'm sorry, Mike. I called him Matt once too. Mike Carr. Blah, blah, blah. But don't go far, because in just a couple hours we have Sarah's table, when Sarah will be running against the gloom, where the band's past comes bursting back into their spaceship. I just want to say that's an amazing sentence. I love it. That is today, right here on Gen Con TV at 5 p.m. Pacific. In Peter versus the Machine, the Industrial Revolution has begun, and I have settled 3 cities in newly discovered lands. Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific, and I might be going back to war with Germany. We'll see. In Dress to Quest, the party will have to face the consequences of their encounter with the Frost Maiden. Hate it when that happens. Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific. In Indy by Night, Caleb of Clan Ventru is the new prince of Indianapolis. What will that mean for the coterie? Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. And what's it going to mean for Gen Con? Wednesday, we have miniatures painting with Path of the Brush at 4 p.m. Pacific. And then I'm not sure what's going to happen during the karaoke slot. It might be TableTakes Place, but I haven't gotten confirmation on that. Thursday morning at 10 p.m. Pacific, we have Blood on the Clock Tower, and then join us again at 5 p.m. Pacific for some Shadowrun from Roll with Rem Alternus. And Friday at 2 p.m., well, if you're here watching, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be Back to Us, the best show on Gen Con TV. Yeah, that's right. We can say that. We'll say that. We'll claim it. Thanks so much to the Gen Con TV crew. Anita, pitch hitting from Marcus Mays, who's just recovering from a week at Gamma. We are definitely going to talk about that next week. Steve Connard, Sarah Moore, and Janelle Lovett. Thanks to my insightful co-hosts, Javion, Bonsai Baby, and the Noir Enigma. And thanks, most of all, to you for watching and hanging out with us in chat. Remember, follow Gen Con TV for more of the best 4 days in gaming all year long, right here on twitch.tv/Gen Con TV. And by follow, I mean, please click the follow button. That's it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
That's it.